Let's maul in the Central Committee. Let's cringe in the Central Committee. Let's bog in the Central Committee right now.
And here's Lara Logan and Tucker Carlson on the border refugees.
And what they are saying is that the border is wide open. Everybody knows it's wide open. The message is loud and clear. They've seen people crossing there for months. The Biden administration doesn't do anything, and this is their chance. So they said their lives are pretty good. I've seen many of them in the airports here as they're cycled through and distributed all over this country. And they're well dressed and, very lovely people from what I can tell, well behaved, great families. But what they don't.
Wait. They're well behaved. They're clean. They're they're normal when you actually talk to them. Therefore, logically,
look like is desperate. They don't look like, for example, Christians fleeing persecution from Nigeria who are actually in the midst of a genocide, who cannot even get asylum in this country, but the asylum laws are actually written for them. And what you're seeing happen here is, those thousands of people in the bridge.
Laura, you're talking to Tucker Carlson. He's not interested in Nigerian refugees. Laura, you should ask her what he thinks about that.
Tucker, you know what the agents tell me? They've got like 24 porta-johns for those people. Several hundred of them, like around 300, escaped on Sunday morning. They just ran away. The conditions are miserable. They don't have enough food. They don't have any real facilities or security. It is an absolute unmitigated disaster.
So they are desperate. You just contradicted yourself within a minute.
And what you're seeing happen here is all those people in the Biden administration that came from the Open Society Foundation that we're not allowed to talk about because that'll be the end of us, right? They'll come for all of us. Well, you know what? Those people, those advisors.
Wait a minute. Who's going to come for you? Anti-Semitic dog whistle. Holy shit. Actually, this is the same. Like, if you went back and you read actual Stormfront, it would sound like this from 10 years ago. If you went and read Stormfront 10 fucking years ago, it sounds like this.
They don't want a border. What does open society mean? It means no borders, which means no America, right? No countries. That's why patriotism and the flag and all of those things are so...
You're not American! You're from South Africa! I swear to God, there should be a complete shutdown of white conservatives coming to this country to talk about anti-immigration. By the way, white South African coming to America to talk about how bad it is to have open borders. She's a South African television and radio journalist. She went to Durban Girls College, a boarding school.
Evil today, right? They're automatically white supremacy and nationalism. Never mind that you can be, an African country and be proud of your flag and your borders, or you can come from Kosovo or wherever. So what you're seeing is part of a much bigger political picture. It's not just about the border, and it's the same strategy.
I want to have a border just for conservative commentators. I want a border for conservative commentators. What do you think, chat? What do you think?
As Afghanistan. Ignore, pretend it's not there and not happening. And the biggest thing here, Tucker, is that people keep using words like failure. They say, they failed to act. No, they chose not to act.
Now, Chad, I have a question for you. How many babies are born in America every year? In America. How many babies are born in America every year? If you follow me on Twitter, you already know the answer to that. You already know the answer to that if you follow me on Twitter, chat. We are a country with a population of 328.2 million people and 4 million babies born per year. 4 million babies born. 15,000 Haitian refugees doesn't matter. It's not going to change a thing. We could just help these people, and it costs us nothing as a society. These people talk about great replacement. We've got 4 million babies being born, and they're talking about 15,000 people coming here is going to change something. You dummies. Listen to the way they talk, man.
For them to get in there and turn this situation around.
You got to go back to the policies that worked. I mean, they don't have to call it President Trump's policies. Just go back to the policies that work. That's how you deal with this. You have to send a message from the White House, from the Oval Office, that you're serious about having. I mean, understand how bad it is, too. We see all the pictures, but remember, illegal crossings in March were the highest on record until the month of April. Then April was the highest month until the month of May. And then May was the highest month until June. And then June was the highest month until July, when 212,000 illegal encounters on our southern border. And August dipped just a little bit to 208,000. So this is the only conclusion any rational person can reach is this is deliberate, this is intentional, this is exactly what Hillary Clinton campaigned on in 2016 when she talked about a borderless hemisphere. So let's hope they change their mind and do the right thing, but I'm not holding my breath.
Well, we certainly don't have any indication it's deliberate, but when pressed on Kamala Harris and where is she in all of this, you just heard Jen Psaki respond with she is addressing.
It's deliberate to bring in 15,000 people, chat. Oh my God, 15,000. We've done it. Jim Jordan is also a pedophile defender. Help cover up a pedophile.
Still the root causes. In fact, she chose to point out what they're calling progress that she is making in stemming the flow of those migrants from some of those countries. Do you have any reason to doubt that to be the case?
Yeah, the facts tell you just the opposite. As
Yes,
Mr.
King
Wolf
of
just
Rome, I
said,
did.
these individuals from Haiti, they're not coming from Haiti, they're coming from South America. So what's Kamala Harris doing to work with those nations to prevent this flood of people on our southern border? And I would
Flood. This is barely a trickle. More people watch the Pittsburgh Penguins play ice hockey during a regular season game than this flood.
also, I would take issue, Sandra. How can you not conclude it's intentional? We've had 6 months in a row where the number keeps getting higher. So if it's not intentional, then it is completely that irresponsible. It is completely wrong what they're doing. I don't know how you can't reach that. I never said that until the last few months when I saw those numbers continue to go up. So the American people understand how ridiculous this is, and yet they have an administration focused on everything else except.
That's also really disgusting is they talk about border crossings as opposed to like actual net migration, because they want you to think that border crossing equals net migration when it doesn't. Plenty of people go back to Mexico and they come here to work as temporary migrants. They're just vile liars.